Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we're looking at advice for men on how to make a great first impression on women.
Okay.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not about flashy stuff or big gestures.
Interesting.
It's more about the subtle things.
Okay. Yeah.
The things you might not realize are being noticed.
A little detail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like a secret language of attraction.
I like that.
So,
Yeah.
we're going to unpack these unexpected details today
Cool.
and see what they reveal about not just attraction,
Yeah.
but how we all size each other up in general.
I'm intrigued.
So the source starts by saying,
Okay.
forget the superficial stuff.
All right.
It's about details that hint at your personality and character.
Makes sense.
And they even specifically call out clean and well-fitting clothes.
Interesting.
And it's not about like being a fashion icon.
Yeah.
It's more about showing you care about the image you project.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
So it's not just about looking good.
It's about what that look communicates about you.
Right.
About your habits and values.
Absolutely.
And studies actually show that we tend to judge people
Okay.
on their trustworthiness and competence
Interesting.
based only on appearance,
Hmm.
even if those judgments are unconscious.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So first impressions really are deeper than we think.
For sure.
Okay, so get this.
Yeah.
The source goes on and on about shoes.
Shoes.
Yeah, apparently women notice them,
Okay.
like big time.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh, I wouldn't have thought that.
Well, apparently shoes can be a really accurate lifestyle indicator.
Oh, that's interesting.
Think about it.
Okay.
Are they clean,
Uh-huh.
polished?
Yeah?
Do they fit the occasion?
Okay.
All of that can reveal a lot about someone,
Like what?
their attention to detail,
Mhm.
and even their approach to life.
Wow.
Yeah, and the source even says,
Right.
avoid flip-flops unless you're at the beach. I guess that laid-back vibe doesn't always work, huh?
Apparently not.
Interesting.
Well, I think it's about understanding
Okay.
social norms and expectations.
Right.
There's a time and place for everything,
Yeah,
and a first date might not be it for flip-flops.
makes sense.
It shows you've put thought into it,
Mm-hmm.
and that you respect the other person enough to make an effort.
Yeah, I can see that.
So it's not really about the shoes themselves.
Right.
It's more about what they reveal about you,
Okay.
your awareness and consideration for others.
Absolutely.
And there's actually a psychological phenomenon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called the halo effect.
Okay.
Basically, when someone is well dressed, we might unconsciously assume they're also intelligent or kind.
So we generalize positive traits.
Exactly.
Huh, interesting.
It might not always be accurate,
Right,
but it's definitely powerful in shaping our perceptions.
for sure.
So yeah, shoes can really make or break a first impression.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind.
Next up is how you treat other people. I mean, this one seems straightforward.
Yeah,
Just be nice, right?
yeah. Be polite.
Well, it goes a bit deeper than that.
Okay, how so?
The source talks about observing how someone treats people in service roles.
Like waiters and cashiers?
Yeah, anyone they see as below them.
Oh, I see.
That can be a big indicator of character.
Yeah, you can tell a lot about a person by how they treat others.
Right. And it's like
Oh, yeah.
a sneak peek into how they might treat you later on.
Right.
If they're rude to a waiter now,
Yeah,
what's to say they won't be rude to you later?
exactly.
Not a good sign.
Nope, not at all.
Kindness and respect should be universal.
I agree.
Regardless of anyone's position,
Mhm.
it shows emotional intelligence
Yes,
and the ability to genuinely connect with others.
for sure.
Okay, now on to something a bit lighter.
All right.
Smiles.
Okay.
A genuine smile can be a real game changer,
Yeah, I can see that.
especially when making a first impression. So the source actually distinguishes between a genuine smile and a forced grin.
Oh, really?
And they say women can tell the difference.
You think so?
Yeah, apparently so.
Huh. Interesting.
Do you think people are really that good at reading facial expressions?
I think so, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we're kind of wired to do that.
Oh, wow.
It's how we've survived as a species for so long.
That's amazing.
So yeah, a real smile engages all these muscles around your eyes. It's almost impossible to fake.
Wow.
But a forced smile only involves the mouth.
So it looks insincere,
Exactly.
even creepy sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
So it's not just about smiling,
And
it's about the authenticity behind it.
That makes a lot of sense.
This reminds me of micro expressions.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever heard of those?
Yeah.
Like these tiny facial expressions
Mhm.
that reveal true emotions even if we try to hide them.
They're fascinating.
I know, right?
They happen really fast,
Yeah, like a fraction of a second.
but they can tell us so much about a person.
So we're constantly reading each other's faces.
Absolutely.
Even if we don't realize it.
We are.
Wow. Okay, so this next one really surprised me.
Okay, what is it?
Lips.
Lips.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of that one.
Well, think about it.
Uh-huh.
When you're talking to someone,
Uh-huh.
you're looking at their face.
Yeah.
And lips are a focal point.
Okay.
So dry or chapped lips can signal a lack of self-care,
Oh, I see.
which can be a turnoff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So again, it's not about having like perfect lips or anything. It's more about taking care of yourself,
Uh-huh.
showing you pay attention to details,
I like that.
even the small ones.
Okay.
Well-hydrated lips are just more appealing.
For sure.
And it's a sign of self-respect,
Absolutely.
which is always attractive.
Definitely.
Okay, moving on to another sense that's important for attraction, scent.
Okay.
I mean, a good smell can be so intoxicating.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, the source talks about a clean, fresh scent. Not necessarily cologne.
Right.
It's more about personal hygiene
Mm-hmm.
and creating a positive experience.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They also suggest applying fragrance after showering.
Why is that?
Apparently, it makes it last longer.
Oh, okay.
Something about the warm, damp skin.
Interesting.
The scent molecules blend more naturally, so the aroma is more appealing and lingers longer.
Cool. I never knew that.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
It is.
So again, it's about working with your natural scent,
Uh-huh.
enhancing it in a subtle way.
I like that.
And did you know that
Did-
certain scents can trigger emotional responses?
Really?
Yeah, like vanilla is often associated with warmth and comfort,
Oh, yeah.
and citrus can evoke feelings of energy and happiness.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Scent is really powerful.
It is.
Okay, last but not least,
Okay.
we have hands.
Hands.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The source emphasizes the importance of well-maintained hands.
Like, what do you mean?
Trimmed nails,
Uh-huh.
moisturized skin, especially when it's cold out.
Right.
And it makes sense when you think about it.
Oh, so?
Holding hands with someone who has rough, dry hands,
Yeah.
not exactly a pleasant experience,
Okay, true.
but is it really that big of a deal?
Well, I think so.
You do.
Yeah, our hands are how we interact with the world
Okay.
and with each other.
Mm-hmm.
They say a lot about us. Okay.
Think
so-
about it.
Yeah.
A handshake,
Yeah.
a gentle touch.
Yeah.
Our hands are involved.
They are.
And a positive experience can definitely enhance attraction.
I see what you mean.
So it's about more than just looks. It's
Yeah.
about the message those hands send, attention to detail,
Yeah.
even the potential for a good connection.
Makes sense.
And from an evolutionary perspective,
Mm-mm.
healthy hands might have signaled good health
Right.
and strong genes.
Which were attractive qualities.
Exactly.
Wow, it's fascinating.
I know, right?
Even something like hand care has roots in our biology.
It all comes back to that.
It really does.
So does this mean men need to obsess over every single detail?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's about being aware of the message we're sending.
Right. Both consciously and unconsciously.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Awareness.
It's about being mindful and intentional.
It's about putting your best foot forward,
Mm-hmm.
but in a holistic way,
I agree.
being mindful of how you present yourself
Absolutely.
and the impact that can have.
It's powerful stuff.
So what do you think?
About what?
Do any of these details resonate with you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, I think we've all had those moments
Okay.
where a small detail has made a lasting impression.
Like what?
A warm smile
Uh-huh.
or a pleasant scent.
Okay.
Little things that make a big difference.
Totally.
Yeah.
I remember going on a date with this guy
Yeah,
who had the most amazing shoes.
really.
I know it sounds silly,
Okay.
but they were perfectly polished. Classic style.
Uh-huh.
Just really well maintained.
Well,
So what did you... Honestly, I thought, okay, this guy has his act together.
see,
And-
it's not just about the shoes.
Right.
It's what they represent.
Yeah.
Attention to detail,
Mm-hmm.
a sense of style,
Mm-hmm.
taking pride in your appearance.
Exactly.
That says a lot.
It really does.
Yeah.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Right.
what can we learn about attraction
Huh?
and human perception in general?
That's a great question. I think it highlights how we're constantly observing and interpreting, signals from our surroundings,
Yeah.
from the people around us.
Yeah, we're not always consciously aware of it, but these cues really shape our perceptions, even influence our decisions.
Like our brains are wired to pick up on these clues even when we don't realize it. That really makes you wonder,
Yeah,
how much are we missing?
right? And it goes beyond just attraction.
Okay.
Think about job interviews, meeting new friends, any social situation where you're trying to connect with someone. these details can make a difference.
So it's not about getting a date.
Right. It's about connecting with people on a deeper level,
Absolutely.
regardless of the context.
Exactly. It's about being mindful of the messages we send, both consciously and unconsciously,
Okay.
and understanding how those messages are received.
That's a powerful thought.
It is.
It really makes you think about how much we communicate without even saying a word.
Yeah.
Which brings us to a really interesting question from the source.
Okay.
If we become more aware of these details, both in ourselves and others,
Yeah.
could that lead to more genuine connections?
I love that question. It challenges us to go beyond those surface judgments
Okay.
and really appreciate the nuances of human behavior.
It's like saying, hey, let's not judge a book by its cover.
Exactly.
Let's really try to understand the story and imagine what that could mean for our relationships, romantic and platonic.
Right.
What if, by paying attention to these cues, we could build deeper connections?
That's a beautiful thought. It's about recognizing
Yeah.
that every interaction, every detail, has the potential to create something special, to foster understanding. It's about being present, being mindful, and being open to those subtle ways we communicate.
I think our listener is picking up on a key theme here.
It's that.
It's not about obsessing over every detail
Right.
or trying to manipulate anyone.
No.
It's about authenticity
Yeah.
and self-awareness,
Understanding how our actions impact others.
even the seemingly insignificant ones.
Absolutely.
And-
And how we in turn see them.
Okay, so now I'm curious.
Oh, what?
Have you ever had an experience
Yeah.
where a tiny detail totally changed your perception of someone?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember meeting someone,
Okay.
and they had this habit of touching their necklace while they talked.
Oh.
At first, I didn't think anything of it.
Mm-hmm.
But as we kept talking, I noticed they only did it
Yeah.
when they were discussing something they were passionate about.
Oh, wow.
It was like a window into their enthusiasm.
That's so cool.
It showed what really mattered to them.
That's such a great example.
Yeah,
It's amazing how a small gesture can reveal so much.
it really is.
What do you think, listener? Have you ever noticed something similar?
Right?
A little detail that gave you a whole new perspective.
It makes you wonder how many of these tells we see every day
Yeah,
without realizing it.
that's so true.
It highlights the importance of paying attention, being present in our interactions,
Okay.
and really observing the people around us.
So to bring this back to the source,
Yeah,
we've covered a lot of ground.
we have. From shoes to smiles to scent.
And even though this was aimed at men,
Uh-huh.
I think there are valuable takeaways for everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyone can benefit from this.
Right.
It's about understanding that communication goes way beyond words,
Okay.
and those little details can have a big impact.
Before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
is there one key takeaway you'd like our listener to remember?
I'd say this. Don't underestimate those small things.
Okay.
Whether it's a nice pair of shoes or a genuine smile. Those details can say a lot about you and make a real impression.
Right.
But even more importantly, pay attention to those details in others.
Oh, I like that.
You might be surprised by what you learn.
That's a great takeaway.
Thanks.
It's a reminder to be mindful, to be present, and to
Yeah.
be open.
And curious.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the subtle signs of attraction, I can't help but wonder, what other seemingly insignificant details might we be overlooking? Are there things we subconsciously notice but don't even realize are shaping our opinions?
That's a great question. And honestly, I think the answer is yes.
Yep.
Our brains are amazing at processing information, picking up on cues that we might not even register consciously, like we're all walking lie detectors.
I've always been fascinated by that.
Yeah.
People who can read body language, they can pick up on all sorts of things.
Right, like micro expressions,
Yeah.
those tiny movements that betray hidden emotions.
Exactly.
And it goes beyond just body language.
Oh, really?
Yeah, think about tone of voice, the way someone uses their hands, even how they stand or sit. All of that can tell you a lot about their confidence, their personality, even their intentions.
Yeah. It's like a whole hidden world of communication.
It really is. The more we learn about these signals, the more we understand about ourselves and each other. It's like unlocking a secret code to human behavior.
Okay, so for our listener who's now hooked on this idea,
Yeah.
where do we even begin?
Well, a body language course could be helpful. But honestly, I think that the best way to start is just paying attention.
Like being more observant.
Exactly. Be present in your interactions. Notice how people move, the tone of their voice, those tiny things that might reveal something deeper.
So being more aware of our surroundings.
Yes, and the subtle cues that are constantly around us.
And then what about our gut instincts?
Oh, those are important too.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to trust them. Those first impressions we get, they often come from those subconscious observations that our conscious mind hasn't processed yet.
So it's not just about learning a set of rules.
Right, it's more about honing our intuition.
Becoming more attuned to those subtle signals.
Exactly. And the more we practice, the better we'll get at reading them.
This deep dive has been so eye-opening. First impressions are about so much more than just looks.
I agree. It's not just a pretty face or a nice smile.
It's about the whole package.
The complete picture.
All those little details that add up.
Creating a narrative.
And often unconsciously.
Exactly. Like tiny brushstrokes that paint a picture of who we are.
Before we've even spoken a word.
That's a great way to put it.
So as we wrap up,
Yeah.
I'm left with this thought.
Okay.
What if, by becoming more aware of these things, we could make better first impressions, but also build deeper connections with people?
Right. Like what if paying attention to those subtle signs leads to more empathy, more understanding, more connection? It's a lot to think about.
It really is. It's a reminder that every interaction, every detail has the potential to be meaningful.
I love that.
So to our listener,
Yeah.
we leave you with this challenge.
Okay.
Go out there, pay attention, and see what you discover, both in yourself and the people you meet. Until next time, keep diving deep